The back of this property is at an angle. This is exactly where you see the fence where the train track used to be. This is Burney Lane. This is the right-of-way of the train. This is the property that I'm going to show you. And this is where the train station used to be, with the track crossing Burney Lane. This is the remains of a retaining wall for a wide platform of cinders in front of the railroad station. You can see that it's at an angle compared to the street. This is Burney Lane, and here is where the train was coming from. Where the shovel is, this is where I found 90% of all the coal, very concentrated spot, which we can assume to be that focus. It's very likely where a steel locomotive was sitting, and they were poking the fire, refueling with new coal, cleaning, dusting, removing the old coal, which will drop on the train track. Here we may have been at the end of the train station, which was on Burney Lane, and where there was a passing by. There were two switches, and train could avoid each other's or wait for one for another. I'm sure that I can still find some coal, smaller pieces that you can see through the camera. So this is an important piece of information about the train station which was in this area. I just spoke with my neighbor, and he told me that he has the same situation. If you look at his backyard, you can see a dark black spot. In that spot, each time he digs, there is coal underneath, and nothing is able to grow. It seems that we have two spots here where the fire was getting cleaned and reloaded with coal. Here is what the track looked like at the Ellenora station. You can see that there were two spurs, one behind and one in front of the train station. This house, which is just south of the train station, is very famous. From about 1903 until 1928, the 11 acres of beech trees just south of the station were a picnic grove owned by Nick Wolf of Sutton Avenue, Mount Washington. He belonged to the Humboldt Lodge IOOF of Cincinnati and named his picnic grove Humboldt Park. He built a large square building in the park which still stands at 1532 Burney Lane. The building itself eventually became known as Humboldt Park. Numerous persons leased and operated the grove from 1903 on. The earliest operator recalled by old-timer Joe Ludwig was Hub Scott. Following him was John Roth, recalls old-timer John Betts, Next came Joseph Kinley, who operated the park until 1917, according to Jim Kinley, his grandson. Joseph Steigerwald leased the park next. William Safin was the last operator of the park. He purchased the 11 acres from the Wolf heirs in 1922 and sold them in 1927, but remained until 1928 when the park was closed forever. It was Safin who introduced boxing matches because prohibition had eliminated the bar. In 1945, the owner, Miss Rosalie Mudge, had the Warren E. Richard Company do extensive remodeling on the building. Bill Miller of Beachmont Avenue was in charge of remodeling Old Humboldt Park into a 4-apartment building, which it has been ever since, and it's still the case in 2022.